Chapter 11 Christian Frauds. Christmas lights in the festival slowly turned off with less and less people appearing. They headed back up the road to leave only to witness cops appearing from the end. They were confused at first, but they knew they hadn't committed a crime that would cause a scene. But one thing for sure, they never know what they're gonna witness. Wendy turned to the road to head home, pulling the splinters out of her. "Wendy," Pacifica called, which caught Wendy's attention. Pacifica, Wendy witnesses the former witch girl running from her parents chasing her. "Help me!" Pacifica took her hand the moment she ran past her. Wendy didn't react from what's happening. She was relieved Pacifica escaped somehow, but with little time left in the festival, they can't go inside any of the buildings, one by one closing its doors with lights turning off. "Get back here this instant!" Preston shouted, chasing his daughter and Wendy down. Upon turning around, Wendy took full control by running past Pacifica while holding on to her. "I'll find a spot. We just need to lose them." Wendy ran as fast as she could, fast enough Pacifica's parents won't catch her. She's lucky enough no cops have come down yet to stop Pacifica's attempt to escape again. But when she saw the cops for a split second, she may thought it could have something to do with Preston and Priscilla, but at the same time she's not risking leaving Pacifica alone, knowing there could be a way for her to be free from them. When Soos, Melody, Candy, and Grenda walked down the sidewalk, they noticed Wendy taking Pacifica down the trail where they cut down a tree, with Preston and Priscilla following suit. They couldn't believe it, but at the same time, they don't know what they're gonna do, knowing Preston could cause some severe damage, disaster, similar to what he did in Town Hall. "This isn't gonna be good," Melody commented. "Please tell me they're not gonna cut down the tree Wendy cut down." Candy closed her eyes. "Other trees there are what could be cut down," Sue said it. On the trail, Wendy and Pacifica arrived at the area, while rushing to the other area where the tree got placed. "Are you sure this is a good idea?" Pacifica asked. "It's too dark and there's no one around. You still don't deserve this. What's your choice for your future with them?" Wendy responded, but then she stopped, causing Pacifica to also stop when she saw what Wendy saw with both of their eyes shot open. The tree got taken away. The only thing that made Wendy so satisfied was taken away from her. "Are you kidding me? It's gone?" Pacifica blinked as she sneezed. "My parents better not be responsible for this. They would have to know where this place was beforehand if they did this." Preston and Priscilla arrived at the area as they stopped in place. They saw the way Pacifica, standing next to Wendy, can smell bad influence from the view. "You just refuse to listen to my orders, don't you?" Preston crossed his arms, causing Pacifica and Wendy to turn around. "I had a horrible time finding you, laying out your name, and all I see is you hanging out with a corduroy. You didn't give me a choice." Pacifica sneezed again while covering her arms. "You never gave me a real Christmas. That's never our problem. Be thankful you gave Christmas memories to all those Christians you sung to," Priscilla added. "I never liked it." Pacifica stomped on the ground. "You made me sing year after year and it drove me insane. What's wrong? You hate being a Christian?" "No, I don't. It's the way you made me participate in the religious organization. You're the ones who are willing to contribute something way more than anything you've seen in this poor man's festival," Preston retorted. "And you know it." "No," Pacifica reacted. "You don't even know what I felt, and you took it away from me. I've been with her all night and found her when she got lost," Wendy chimed in. "You seriously think she knows that it is better than this? You've never had an actual Christmas. What did you expect?" Preston turned his attention to Wendy. "Like your father ever— Don't ever bring up my family!" Wendy clenched her fist. You never having a Christmas would've been a problem if you wouldn't be so blinded with greed. This caused Preston to place his hand on his forehead. "We love greed," Priscilla filled in while pointing at her daughter. "Even she loves greed when we give it to her." Pacifica couldn't argue, knowing she grew up with greed, but after finally spending her time in the festival without her parents, she doesn't need greed as much as she used to. The dark cloud above her was always her parents over her head, and she couldn't take it anymore. "You think greed would help me if we're still wealthy?" she asked while sneezing again. "It was always the answer to our problems," Preston shouted, and if we had never gotten poorer by the month, I wouldn't have considered giving you a job. I'm still too young to have a job. Too bad, it'll keep all of us sleeping under a roof." "What are those cops doing?" Wendy changed the topic. "Wait, those cops?" Pacifica turned to Wendy. "Yes, I saw them just when you pulled me." Wendy turned back to Pacifica's parents. "There wasn't a crime committed in the festival with all the good people, but I know what kind of people you are." When Pacifica looked straight at her father, she assumed they would never ever get caught, but if it's true, she's aware she could also get arrested with her taking part of some of them. She still needed the truth, knowing it could involve his parents. What's going on? The tension in Preston got too high, knowing his one and only daughter won't refuse to get an answer. He closed his eyes, not keeping it a secret from her anymore when his wife is part of it. "You want to know something about that charity we've done year after year?" He clenched his fist. "Yes," Pacifica paid attention. "We haven't donated a single dollar since starting it. We kept all the money so we can keep the mansion all to ourselves." With the truth loud and clear, Pacifica's eyes shot open, all the while not covering her arms despite the cold getting to her. Her contributions ever since starting the charity were all exploited from her own parents. "You broke deranged criminals," Wendy commented. "You call yourselves better than my family when you pull a stunt like this? We just needed the cash. There was nothing we could do. Why? Just so you could be exposed as one of the worst frauds on the planet? We did everything in our power to— Dad!" Pacifica shouted, getting his attention. "You don't commit charity fraud. Do you have any idea how much damage you caused? You made me do it," Pacifica standing up for herself. "I wouldn't keep any of the money I earned from a charity, even if it's something I wouldn't like." She took deep breaths despite the snot coming out from her nose. "But you act so mature as fake Christians and as parents. I'm not supposed to view you as horrible people, but I am now." Priscilla tried to walk up to her only for her daughter to stand back. "I've been under your control for far too long. You make Wendy, her family, and her ancestors who built the mansion look like saints compared to you two." "You tell him," Wendy cheered, rooting for her new friend. "Pacifica," Preston walked towards her daughter, "you will never take away what we give you, and that is life. Just like your parents," Pacifica retorted back, "and you didn't prove to be better than them, and I'm not making the same mistake." Preston attempted to grab Pacifica like before, but she dodged, causing him to trip on the snow. She ran past her mother. Just when she's about to grab her, Wendy pushed her out of the way. "Get the cops, Pacifica," she called. Pacifica ran to the exit of the tree chopping while Preston slowly got to his feet. He turned around to chase after his daughter, preventing him and his wife from getting arrested. Pacifica ran on the trail as fast as she could. Lights of blue and red appeared from the distance. The cop cars arrived in the festival now that everyone who visited has left. Despite the odds against her with her being part of the charity, she's making sure her father doesn't drag her down with him. But soon, Preston caught up to her as she turned around. She stared back in front of her as she saw cops with flashlights coming down. Almost there. Then Preston grabbed her arm. "You're not going to report anything," he retorted. "You think you're going to report to your very own mother and father? I've changed, unlike you. Like you ever accomplished something so sweet and nice when we told you winning is everything. By leading us to prison." Preston then squeezed her arm, causing her to wince. "Our lives wouldn't be this way if you followed our goal of protecting our wealth before all that went away. I never controlled our wealth, you did. I did everything in my power to get more money for us to be the richest family in Gravity Falls. You robbed money from Christians. Grown-ups don't do that. You are literally the one who tarnished the Northwest name due to your ego and reign of greed." Preston slowly squeezed tightly, knowing he can't disagree but refuses to admit he's wrong. "You know what?" She threw her daughter on the ground, causing snow to go through her hair. However, it only made her sneeze more, with her nose turning red. "You can't even save yourself without me, and you know it. There is not a single person on this planet who will protect you, nor change you for the better. I've changed. You just never cared." Pacifica trying to get on her feet. "You think I was always neglectful? No, but you abused my identity for far too long. What, you think you can handle growing up without me after everything I did for you?" Pacifica tried to stand still while sneezing yet again. She wiped her snot with her arm while looking at her father face to face. "I learned to never support a family who never admits to growing better, and you're the last thing I want to support." With his rage reaching over his limit, he kicked the snow against his daughter. The snow got on her face while she landed back on the ground. "Pacifica," he took a deep breath, "grow up on your own without me, because I'm through with you. You don't want me to be your father? You've got your Christmas present from me and your mother." He then turned around to get her wife, to turn them into the police. Pacifica remained still on the ground, sneezing more while watching her father walking away. She got her chance to stand against her father, but at a cost. She got neglected for the first time. Preston came back to Priscilla, who Wendy is still preventing her from getting. Pacifica pulling her body away. "Let go of her," he demanded as Wendy took notice of Preston. "I said let go of my wife." Wendy let go of Priscilla as she backed away. "What about Pacifica? She's not our liability anymore." He took Priscilla's hand. If we no longer have custody of her when we go to court, fine by us. She'll forever be out of our problems." "We're seriously gonna go through this?" Priscilla turned to her husband. "What do we have to lose? Gravity Falls, Oregon would see us as frauds eventually. There was nothing left to keep our pride intact." Priscilla lowered her head, agreeing with what her husband told her. We should have never had a daughter. I've heard that before. Preston rolled his eyes as he and Priscilla headed back, leaving Wendy all alone victorious. She couldn't believe she and Pacifica went against them, but was appalled at how they threw their daughter under the bus. After they walked past her, not caring about her to accept the arrest, Wendy noticed her freezing. Pacifica, she walked up to her, brushing the snow off of her. Without hesitation, she took off her winter hat and put it on Pacifica. Pacifica looked straight at Wendy, who got her on her feet. Don't worry about them. At least you're not getting arrested. If I can tell them all the crimes they did, Pacifica responded, I'm sure they'll tell them Christians will get all the answers since they're innocent like you. Wendy takes Pacifica back to the festival, all the while planning to leave now that the obstacle is behind them. But at the same time, Christmas moments have officially ended tonight between them.